Howdy, folks, and welcome to another edition of Sticks-n-Stonez. I have a great pairing coming up for you today. I'm hoping it's going to get me out of my funk. I am pairing Garrison Bros Honeydew with Diesel Whiskey Row Bourbon Barrel Aged Cigar. I think it is going to be an awesome episode, so we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Pop the cork, cut the stick, and get to toasting right after this. Now, the Garrison Bros Honeydew is a Texas whiskey that is infused with real Texas wildflower honey. It's not heavily infused like other whiskeys, that are apple or cinnamon or something like that. What they do is they take the maple wood chips blocks that they are going to filter the whiskey through, and they soak those in honey, and then put them in and then put the whiskey in with them. So it draws that honey out of the actual wood. So it really complements the spirit, but I don't think it just completely overtakes the spirit. So. It is a Texas bourbon from, as I said, Garrison Bros. It is aged a minimum of 2 years in American white oak barrels. It is 80 proof, which is 40% alcohol by volume. I get some really nice notes of cinnamon, some oak undertones there, a little bit of a woodiness. There's also a small amount of honey on the nose, and then I also get a little bit of like blackberries or elderberries or something like that. It's got a wonderful nose to it. It's even better palate. I know already. Oh yeah. I haven't had it in a while. But this is really wonderful. I get kind of a creamy caramel flavor on the palate with some oak. There's also some black pepper in there, adding a little bit of spiciness. Maybe something along the lines of a cardamom, and then maybe ripe apricots. And it's also it kind of coats your palate, not heavily, just a little. And it's got a very silky, smooth feel to it as you take the drink. I love this stuff. It is one of my favorite whiskeys. So, Anyway, the finish, let me get another drink now that I've been talking. Now, the finish is it's got a pretty long finish on it. It's a little bit florally. There are some some bread notes, maybe along the lines of maybe a little bit of sourdough. There's a hint of white pepper, and then also some white chocolate. Now, white chocolate is my favorite chocolate, although I wouldn't turn down any chocolate. But I just like the creaminess of the white chocolate. It's just different. And that's kind of got this aspect going to it. So I think this is, as far as the spirit goes, you're going to love this. We'll see how it does with the Diesel Whiskey Row Bourbon Barrel Aged. I'm going to go ahead and disband it, unband it, whatever. The band's breaking up. All right, now, this particular stick, it is a filler that is a combination of Condega Jalapa, and Ometepe tobaccos. And I think the Ometepe, it's either the Ometepe or the Jalapa. I just like being able to say those words that sound somewhat like I know Spanish, is an island. I didn't know that until here recently. I've smoked a lot of cigars that you have parts of the filler are made up with tobaccos from that region. I didn't realize it was an island. Then the binder is, this is kind of an odd, but I do love it, and that is it's got a Mexican San Andres wrapper. You know how I feel about, not wrapper, binder, sorry. You know how I feel about San Andres wrappers. That's what I was about to say, so I was getting ahead of myself. And then the wrapper is a beautiful Ecuadorian Habano. This particular stick is a 5.5 by 52 on the ring gauge. It's considered a Robusto. And sorry, my phone is ringing. I can't get it to stop. So I hope you can still see me. I don't know. Anyway, this whole thing has just been, it's not letting me get into my groove. So, and this is a medium to full strength stick. Now, visually, it's, the seams are almost invisible. There it is fairly, I don't know, I wouldn't say heavily, I would say more like moderately veined. It is, it's kind of a, more like a, I was gonna say chocolate, but I think more like cappuccino, more like a cappuccino hue to it. As far as color, it has just a hint of a sheen. It feels wonderful and silky on your fingers, and I will show you, it has a very large triple cap. So on the nose, I get sort of a creamy malt aroma. I get a pepper, kind of a cinnamon candy, not like the baking cinnamon, like the spicy cinnamon, like Red Hots and stuff like that. There's a little bit of a, kind of a mocha espresso to it. There's some cedar, and a nice thick caramel to it, and also just a light hint of floral notes. Let's go ahead and cut it, test out the cold draw. I'm using my Cassetti multi-cutter. I'm hoping you can see me because I can no longer see you. Like I said, this day's not working out the way I planned it. I had great expectations. So far, they're coming up not. Now on the cold draw, it's got a really nice, easy draw to it. There is a little bit of pull up on the cap there. I don't think it's anything to really be worried about. It's very similar to the nose. It's got some really good, strong notes of black pepper. There's a little bit of a creamy maltiness to it. There's some more of the like mocha espresso. There's so much going on in here. There's a little bit of cinnamon. Bread, cedar, and then just some kind of mild notes of like a barnyard. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and fire this stick up. Well, I can say right off the light, there is a massive amount of smoke on this stick. Sorry, my camera went off when somebody was trying to call in, and I just was able to get the pop back on. So I don't know. I'm still working on this live stream stuff. So you know. It does have just a really massive amount of smoke that comes off of it. This is really a very consistent stick. I'm getting a lot of the same things that I've had on the nose and on the cold draw. You're getting some really good thick notes of black pepper. There's some spicy cinnamon in there. There's kind of a rich mocha espresso kind of thing going on, like, you know, I don't know, Starbucks. And there's a slight fruitiness. Now, that's something that was a little different. I think there was some ripe apricots maybe on the nose. But now you're picking up a little more fruit in the light. All right, let's try them together. Man, those are really, really good together. One complements the other very well. There's, between the two, there is a really heavy dose of black pepper in there. But you also get just with the honey aspect of the spirit, kind of blends with the mocha espresso kind of on the palate. I'm really struggling today. I'm telling you, I'm not on my game. Yeah, it is. And now I'm trying them together. I'm picking up a little bit of what I could describe as like buttered toast. So I think this is, I really think this is going to be a really, really good stick. Approaching a half-inch in, that's what she said. And yeah, it's really working well together. I think this is going to be a really great pairing. That is, it may take a minute, but things are now starting to come together. That's when I do my best thinking. Also, it's got a little bit of a wave to it, but it's more of a typical, nothing out of the ordinary. Really nice burn line to it. The only thing I see that I am kind of worried about is right there in the center. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to watch that. Don't know about that. But as far as the construction, I had that little bitty tiny piece of cap come off, and it's still holding together really well. I think that was just that spot. So. I posted the other day that I had made a trip to one of my package places, and I think I really got some good ones that are, yeah, I could probably figure out a way to swing a $200 bottle of Weller, 300 or 1,000, but I try to pick things that are like normal everyday folks get. And so I picked up a bottle of Tula Mordew, aged in Caribbean rum casks. I think there's a lot of ways I could go with that particular one, especially on the more mild end of cigars, something along the lines of Connecticut's. I also got some Crown XO Extra Old. We'll see. I do like Crown, and I saw this and I'm like, hey, I'll give it a try. You know, I've done, I think I've done regular Crown, and I've done something on Crown Blackberry and probably Crown Apple somewhere along the way, but this was just regular whiskey XO. So we'll see how that goes. What else Uncle Nearest, 1854, I think. So I'm very excited about that one. I see a lot of things about Uncle Nearest, so we're gonna see how it goes. And there was another bottle in there too. I can't remember what it was now, and I'll look at the picture later and be like, oh, crap, I should have remembered that, but it escapes me. Speaking of escapes me, I don't want to get any crap started, but I saw this video the other night. It was a recording of the current left-leaning vice presidential candidate who has had some problems with what he has said in the past. I'm not talking about, he said something bad about somebody. No, he was telling fibs about his own personal life. And this was, he was giving a speech to the American Legion. All I saw was the little clip of what he said, and so then I went and found the video to watch all of it. It's like an 18 or 20-minute video, but and it was actually him. It was on like the American Legion site or something. And during it, he says, and this is kind of the way he was with what I carried, the weapons I carried in war. He says, when I was in Afghanistan, but you weren't in Afghanistan. You were in Italy. Yeah, no. I mean, I did 21 years in the military, and I know veterans like to tell wild stories and stuff like that. But I say I was in Iraq, and I was there. I got pictures. I say I was in Pakistan supporting Afghanistan. I was there, and I'd much rather, I think, been in Afghanistan. But I didn't have that choice. But I mean, this is like the second or third time he has alluded to himself being a combat veteran, and he wasn't even near the combat zone. I heard he was considering leaving the ticket because he was afraid that Harris was going to send him to some battleground states. Here's what I'll say. I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump. I'm not I like watching a lot of the stuff he says because he's very entertaining. I mean, no matter what you think about him, left, right, whatever, he is entertaining. And so I love a lot of the stuff that he says. But my mother voted for him the first time. I don't even know that she voted for president the next time because she wasn't at all thrilled with Joe Biden, but she hated Trump personally. And so she either didn't vote for anybody or she held her nose and voted for Biden. But this time she has said, I can't take 4 more years like the last 4 years. So I'm gonna hold my nose and vote for him because I know that he will do a better job. And I tell her, I'm like, well, that's really what you have to do. You have to decide, who do I think is going to do the better job? Because you're not trying to pick a friend. Do I see, if I met Donald Trump, would I want to be his friend and go out and have beers with him? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. But he does do a good job. He knows what he's doing. She's never held a job other than supposedly McDonald's out in the private sector. That's one of the problems we have, is too many people making decisions that have never had to actually live out in the regular world like all us other folks. I really liked Robert Kennedy. I don't agree with I'll say to him about him like he said about Trump. I don't agree with everything he says, but I did like him. And I actually kind of did have to evaluate. And what really kept me from supporting him anymore is I knew, I could just tell by the way the polls were going, he was not going to make it. Ross Perot did it, and he managed to pull like 18 or 19% of the vote and cost George H.W. Bush a second term. That was not going to be Robert Kennedy. He was not going to be able to get enough votes to sway anything one way or the other. It's possible he could have gotten high enough in a particular state to flip that state the way it, backwards of the way it would have gone if he hadn't been in the race. It's possible. But, you know, but it's like him and Tulsi Gabbard. I think she was much more eloquent with it, and she's like, I was a lifelong Democrat. I was raised around lifelong Democrats, and the Democratic Party that I see today are not the Kennedy Democrats that raised me, and I can't support a lot of the really super far left issues that they support. And so while she has endorsed Trump, she is still not affiliated with a party that I've heard her announce. So I think she would make an excellent Secretary of Defense. I mean, she's a light colonel, I think. She's been in the military for a while. She's got a couple of actual combat deployments under her belt. And I think maybe you need to put Robert Kennedy in charge. He needs to be Secretary of the Department of Justice, Attorney General, head legal. I don't know, whatever they call it. Yeah, it would be Attorney General because there's no Secretary in the Department of Justice. That's executive. All right. We are about an inch in. It's still kind of got that, kind of lazy wave to it. And that, to me, is that's what I think a burn line should be, because this is a natural product, I see a lot of people talk about how these burn lines are like razor straight. And I'm like, well, this one is in some parts. But I consider this, like that is really, really straight right there. But then when you roll it around, you got that little wave to it. And I'm that kind of person. I got a little lazy wave to me too. I think we all kind of got it. So. And this stick is, it's not burning super fast, but it's also not burning super slow. I have a feeling this is going to probably run in somewhere in the 55-minute range. That's just a guess on my part so far, but I really like the mouthfeel on this stick. That's what she said, and I mean, there's so far, other than whatever's happening right there, there is really nothing I can complain about. This is a really good stick, and I've never been just a big diesel guy. Not because I didn't like them. I don't know. It's just I really kind of gravitated more towards the, Padrones and Macanudos and Rocky Patel and those kind. But this is a really, really good stick. I'm enjoying it. And it says medium to full, but I'm not catching that kind of strength on it. It may ramp up as we get farther into the stick, but it's a solid medium to maybe even a little mild to medium. So, and it's Garrison Brothers, folks. I think if you were a couple of Glencairns in, and somebody poured the Garrison Brothers in your glass, you would think, if anything, it's Irish whiskey, because Irish whiskey tends to be a little bit sweeter, and this has got that little bit of extra sweet to it. So, let me look at my new bottle I've got here. My new bottle is bottle number, this comes from farms. The corn comes from farms in South Texas. Because this is a bourbon, it's at least 51% corn. So the corn was grown in South Texas. This bottle was released in 2023, and right now we're in late 2024. This is bottle number 47,373. And the corn is a white corn. And if I'm not mistaken, and I didn't put this in my notes, damn it, I believe the rest of the mash bill is predominantly maybe red wheat, and then there's a little bit of malted barley there at the end, usually about 5%. So something like that, maybe 10. So do you like the way these episodes are going now? I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not nearly as it's got a lean to it. I'm not nearly as focused as I used to be on making sure I get all of this, it was taking a lot of time to try and get everything put together the way I really wanted it, like that. And I don't know, I thought people enjoyed it, but I thought they would enjoy a little more. I'm going to go ahead and tap this off because it's leaning. Yeah, and there's what it looks like when I tap it. Not really sure what's going on the inside of that. I guess there's that's the roll. They're on a roll. And I've been puffing pretty regularly on this one. And I really don't think it is it's a full strength. I mean, I don't feel it, while it's got a finish on it with a little bit of black pepper in the retro inhale, it's not like overpowering. You don't have that thick cigar taste in your mouth for a long time. But then when you're washing it down with Garrison Bros Honeydew, I'm telling you, I mean, as serious as I can be, if somebody just put this in a glass and handed it to you without you knowing what it was, you would probably think it was like along the lines of an Irish whiskey, because it's got that really nice sweetness to it. But the honey is very, very subtle. It's because they don't, like mix it in with the spirit, which generally waters the spirit down. They soaked the wood chips in it, the maple chips, and then put those in and let the whiskey age in those. So that's where you get the honey is kind of imparted out of the wood. So, maybe they could get, like bees to fly through the distillery, and as they're flying through, you get a little bit of a honey flavor in the air. Tell you what, I am going to have to do. Oh, and for those of you that may have just joined us, I love Garrison Bros Honeydew. So this is the bottle I'm working off of, and this is the bottle I bought to replace it. So I've had this particular bottle for a while, and got a glass up just a little bit more there. Hang on just a second. My phone keeps ringing, and fortunately I can text off my iPad where I keep my notes. And I'm going to hate it if I've gotten right into the middle of this and then all of a sudden there's some emergency and I got to cut it short. I will tell you, we are very close to the halfway mark. And while there was a lot going on in this stick early on, Yeah, I got a little bit of almost like a little citrusy note when I retroed on that one. We're like I said, we're in about the halfway mark. It has a really wide band on it, so you're just kind of guessing. But it's brought in some nuttiness and maybe a little bit of a darker chocolate. I know I had white chocolate in the beginning. And so the chocolate has gotten a little richer and a little more bitter. There's some coconut going on in there, and again, there's the floral notes that we had in the beginning have really ramped up, and I'm not sure if that's partially because of the spirit or not, but I think I am also getting a little bit of honey in it, in the stick, not in the spirit, but that could be the spirit, everything blended together. So now the honeydew is great. There is nothing wrong with this. It is matching very well with the Sticks creaminess, and it is, while it has a little bit of its own spiciness, it's really helping keep in control the spiciness off of the stick. I really love this cigar, but I am going to have to wet my whistle just a little bit. Okay, now we're ready to go. Now the stick has taken on some some very impressive notes of Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. It's amazing. I never had that in a cigar before. We are getting a little bit more of a deep wave right there. See how it goes. So far, I have really loved the burn line. As I said earlier, it is kind of it's kind of a lazy wavy like me. So. This is really a great cigar. I will have a link to the stick and to the spirit in the description of the podcast when it comes out. So y'all are getting exclusive access. And the banding is unusual. It's very flat. It's as far as color. I'm not talking about flat. It's very flat as far as color. There's not a lot of shine to it, and the paper is a very heavy, kind of grainy paper, almost like like the really expensive paper that people will put their resumes on. Yeah, it's a really thick paper. That's different. I said it's a great day. I think I have. Now, you will get as you swallow the drink. Folks, I'm gonna have to end this. Sorry. We will, you'll have to listen to the podcast to get this. Well, I had to end the live stream early because my freaking phone kept ringing and it was messing me up. And it was one of my daughters wanting to know if it'd be okay if she worked at where she works at tomorrow. That was a freaking emergency. So, anyway, it's like there's 24 hours in a day, and the one that I want for me is the one everybody needs me. Sorry. I'll probably end up cutting this out. Because I turned you guys off too, but then when I just put it on pause so I could come back to it. And then I hit the wrong button when I came back, and so it started a new audio file. So I'm now going to have to do some extra work to get this put together correctly. I normally just record it right straight on through and don't worry about it, but anyway. So, Garrison Brothers Honeydew and Diesel Whiskey Row Bourbon Barrel Aged. This is a great combination. I know that there will be a lot of people that won't be like just thrilled about anything that is quote unquote infused, which this is, but you have to remember this is not like an apple flavored whiskey or a cinnamon whiskey, all those that whatever that particular thing is it's infused with, you get more of that than anything. That is not this. The honey is kind of in the background. It is a sweet bourbon, but it is, I think of it more along the lines of an Irish whiskey, like Tullamore Dew, something like that. Yeah, and it could be maybe Jameson's. I don't know so much about Bushmills, but it's possible. And the stick is excellent. The entire smoke, and we're a little below the halfway mark here. Or we've passed the halfway mark is what I mean to say. In the burning down process, we're on the last half. The hole that has been in the exact center of the stick where they started the roll to roll up the filler, it literally looks like I used one of those, whatever they call them, to punch through the center of the cigar to make it easier to draw. If you have a really tight draw on a cigar, punch. It's not a punch because a punch is a punch cutter. But anyway, as you can tell, I'm a little off my game now. And still just clouds of smoke coming off of this stick. It is I wouldn't call it a smoke monster because generally I use that as more of a negative term. But man, it just puts off really loads of smoke. I can't say enough good things about this stick. And a little more spirit. And the honeydew is so silky and smooth. It is just amazing at that this is an 80 proof whiskey. I know 80 is kind of the base, but you're used to flavored whiskeys that are probably lower than that. I think the Akashi Ume that I've used to pair a few times, it's only like 60 or 65 proof. But this is right up at the minimum to be called bourbon. So I think they've done a really great job with this. All right, I'm calming down. And if all of you are waiting with bated breath, yes, I did say that one of them could work tomorrow. They both work. My two youngest, actually, all three of my youngest, kind of work for the same place. Oldest daughter is a teacher like her mother, and she just works there part-time for extra money, 1 or 2 days a week maybe. But then my two youngest are both in high school, and they both work at this place. So there you have it. And this is a really easy drawing stick. It's not. It's got a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper on it. So, it's not as. So it is not as, say, mild as a like a really light colored like Connecticut. It does have a little bit of, it does have some teeth to it, but not a lot. It's just a great, easy smoking stick. And I really haven't seen this happen here, but I'm looking on this, basically my last half, and I almost think I see some pockets of tooth in it. Speaking of tooth, I always enjoy that when it happens, when you get the little bubbles of oil that's in the wrapper, leaf oil, and it's natural in the leaf, and when it gets hot enough, they expand and then they burst, and they just kind of coat a little small area there on the stick with the liquid, and some of them have a lot of tooth to them, and I think it adds to the dimensions. Just me. It is a absolutely beautiful day to be doing this here in North Texas. There are some, it's partly cloudy. You see a lot of sky, but you see a lot of clouds. There's a nice breeze blowing. It's probably 80 something degrees, where 2 weeks ago it was 105. We really only have 3 types of seasons, at least here in this part of Texas. We have, hey, this is nice weather. This is a great day to be on a patio. And then we have, holy shit, this is cold. And then we have, holy shit, this is hot. That's basically the 3 seasons of Texas. So, and the first one, hey, this is really nice. This is great patio weather. That comes around twice a year. So you get that in like late March to late May, maybe early June. And then it gets blazing hot for the next couple of 3 months. And then along about the end of September, it'll start it'll come back to, hey, this is nice weather again, and that'll last till probably somewhere around mid-December. So late December sometimes. But patio is a season here in Texas. So I don't think I've ever been anywhere where there's as many patios and I'm talking about it like restaurants and stuff, as there are here. And now I've been kind of trying to hammer this point home, but don't think, because this is this Garrison Brothers Honeydew is honey infused. Don't think that it doesn't have a little bite to it. It does. It's got a little bite on the back of your tongue and then all the way down your throat. So you're not getting a wimpy whiskey here. This is a really good whiskey. Hang on, I got to have a little bit of a regular beverage. Every so often, especially when you're doing a lot of talking like this, and smoking, and drinking, you need a little something different. So, anyway, I think we're getting down to about the finish on this one. There's just enough room for my knuckles to hold the stick without it falling out of my hands. So I think we can go ahead and give you the final outcome on this. Now, the stick really didn't change much in the last half, except that I think the black pepper has really kind of ramped up even more and taken hold. And it's really brought this stick up in strength, but not so much that it's overbearing. And the spirit did an excellent job of kind of tempering the spiciness of the stick down by bringing in that really nice sweetness of the honey. I would give the stick an 85. That's not a bad score. That's a pretty good score. I mean, it's not up there with Padron and ones like that, but it is a really great budget-friendly stick that is a nice, easy smoke, and you should definitely try it. It is a solid performer. The construction was excellent. The burn line was good. I had that just little bitty, and when I'm talking tiny, I'm talking like pencil eraser size of cap that came off in the very beginning, but nothing else came off of it. The hole that was in the center of the stick is now closed up. Don't know what that was about. Usually that lasts all the way, but Now, the Garrison Brothers Honeydew, well, if you haven't tried it, you're missing out. That's for sure. As I said earlier, I keep a bottle of this on my shelf, and I would give it an 89, and I only do that because it is technically an infused whiskey, and I just can't, loft it up into the realms of the 90 with all of the other uninfused whiskeys. I think if you were just looking at infused to infused, this might be the absolute best one out there. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you, even with all of the difficulties I have had. I really enjoyed getting to spend some time with you. I hope you stick around for the next episode. Hit like, subscribe, share, notify. Leave me some comments. I love comments. I love seeing what you all have to say. Hey, if you don't like the show, just say, hey, I think you suck. That's fine too. I don't care. But I do enjoy hearing what you have to say. So until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold, and have a great day.